Welcome back, everyone. When visiting a loved one that you haven't seen for several months or maybe even years, you may notice some changes that have taken place. At times, those changes can be quite worrisome and cause stress for family members. Aaron Romans joins us from Edgewood, Jamestown, to share some signs and symptoms of Alzheimer's that can help a loved one identify what is going on. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And we were talking during the commercial break there that this is very timely. I mentioned it might be several weeks, months, or years since you've been around a loved one, and this is the time when a lot of people notice changes, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what happens a lot of times is you come home for the holidays and you see your parents or grandparents that you haven't seen for months, possibly years, and you're noticing things that aren't normal for them. It might be, you know, subtle signs of memory loss, which is what most people think of, obviously, when they think of Alzheimer's. But it can be many other things too, and it can be very nerve-wracking, very scary, and it could be something, you know, that has happened over time that you're just noticing. Sometimes it can be very sudden, though.
Expand a little bit on some of the situations. You had some great examples, because it can really range from a number of things, not just forgetting someone's name or who they are, which is kind of seems like the big one. It could be smaller.
Yes. So what we see a lot of times is family coming to us saying, Mom can't remember how to balance a checkbook. Dad can't remember where he puts his normal things that he uses every day. Maybe it's his glasses or his car keys, which for those of us, that could happen all the time. Right. But for many people, they can look for it for hours. And then, you know, other things come up where they can't remember how to brush their teeth. They can't remember what utensil to use for eating. They can't remember where they parked their car. They can't remember how to get home. They'll be driving and they all of a sudden have this forgetfulness, where do I live? That happens a lot, and it's very scary when you think of, you know, these people who are out driving who maybe shouldn't be, and it's very frightening, very nerve-wracking for family, especially when family lives far away, and then they have to leave. They have to go back to their normal day-to-day living, but how are they going to care for mom and dad or grandma and grandpa when they're 200, 300, 400 or more miles away?
What would you recommend to people who are seeing these signs over this holiday season? Yeah,
you know, the main thing is try to educate yourself. Take them to a doctor as soon as possible. You know, doctors it's not a new thing to them to see people after the holidays they maybe haven't seen for quite some time. So take them to a doctor, get a neuropsych evaluation done, you know, take them in for blood work. We see a lot of things over the holidays that it could be not Alzheimer's related at all. It could be other health issues. But if you're noticing these signs and symptoms, you know, memory loss, some cognitive impairment, forgetfulness, forgetting how to do day-to-day activities, or even you know, having a really poor judgment. You know, we've seen people who have gone out and they've spent, you know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in a matter of a day because they've just lost all sense of judgment. So if you're seeing these things, you know, I encourage you, get to a doctor, see somebody who can help you.
And the next step after that, Edgewood can really help. And you said it, maybe not always memory care, might be assisted living.
Correct,
but
yeah.
There are different levels of help that are available.
Yes, absolutely. In Edgewood, we have quite the gamut of things that we can do to help people. So we have programs called the Adult Day Service Program and short-term stay. And so what that means is if you're a caregiver for your loved one who has some of these health issues, we are more than willing to help them, admit them for a couple hours, for a day, overnight. And then if more help is needed, we can definitely talk about admitting them to our assisted living or memory care if needed.
So how can people get a hold of you? And it's fine to give you a call and just start with asking these questions, right?
Absolutely, and I encourage you to do that. You know, you can give us a call or just visit our website at edgewoodSeniorLiving.com, and we have over 60 communities over several states that can help you. So it's not just North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Minnesota, many places that can help.
Some great resources.
Yes.
And this is the time to be aware.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yes,
I appreciate your time. All right, stay with us. Coming up here on North